special guest today that is learning training tips. You have seen her before on Horsemen Academy, but since it is Men's Health Month, and we just gonna throw mental health in there also because we need assistance at all times. She was already hearing some of our conversation and probably was like, why did I agree to do this? We have Brittainy Noel with us. Please say hello to the audience, Brittainy, please.
Hi, audience. First of all, let me just say I'm so happy to be here because I really have been, watching the show, and I've asked multiple times to come on the show.
Really?
And I was told that I wasn't popular enough.
Wow.
And I was just like, hey, whenever I get graced to be worthy of Pour Horsemen, but God is good. So
now,
I'm happy to be here.
Person that
we told Phil
every day. And I would say she's not popular enough to be on the pod.
How many times have I asked you to come on the show?
Multiple times.
And I'll be like, oh, so I'm not good enough? I see y'all had so-and-so. So-and-so was on the show.
Time wasn't right. This is the right time now. You know what I'm saying?
It's okay. It's okay. I am happy to be here.
Why you hating on other people?
Huh?
Why you hating on other people?
I'm happy that they're here. But I'm just saying, I talk to him every day.
Is there therapist beef? Let's get right to it. Do therapists have beef with each other? Like online therapists?
What I have seen lately is therapists who work a traditional therapist job. And then you have therapists who have become more like entertainment therapists. And I have seen beef between those two, where I was told that I wasn't a real therapist because the therapist watched my video and didn't like what I had to say. So some people would consider me an entertainment therapist because I'm more seen in the public eye on different platforms, not doing formal therapy.
But you do formal therapy.
I do.
Yeah. I mean, I know you do. So what's the difference then? Sorry, we skipping some stuff.
No, that's good.
That's good. Yeah.
I want to know.
What is the what would you consider entertainment therapist? Just someone who's just putting out clips?
No. So, like, if you watch a lot of reality TV shows where they'll bring in that guest therapist, that's what people are now seeing as like the entertainment therapist. Oh, they're doing it for TV, or they're doing it for this.
Ayana Vincent. But what if she's
not a real therapist though? She's a coach. She doesn't actually have credentials as a therapist. But yes, so people will put therapists who have credentials in that box with Iyanla as if we don't have credentials ourselves, as if we're not certified to be saying the things that we're saying, right?
But what's the label is different, not the practice. But you agree with what I just said, or are you telling me something different?
That the label is different?
Because what you just explained was like that Ayana, and then what's the difference between her and
a therapist?
Or if you're saying like an interviewer, like a deep one of those deep interviewers, like Angie Martinez, like
Dr. Phil.
Dr. Phil was the actual doctor though, right? No?
I think he got like an honorary.
He got his degree like
Oprah, like, you know what I'm saying?
So if anything, there's always beef between people saying who's qualified and who's not at the end of the day. As a therapist, my credentials qualify me, period, right? So you'll see beef between coaches and therapists because coaches typically don't have the schooling to back up their practice. Doesn't mean that they're not effective. It doesn't mean that they're not good at what they do. But if there's beef in our profession, it's typically between people feeling like these people are qualified to do what they're doing and other people are not. So like, for example, the video, was it a Pour Horsemen video? I think it did come from.
I think so. Yeah. Your video?
One of the videos I had that went viral.
Right.
And a very well-known therapist who was on a reality TV show commented and was like, no. I think
she said no to you?
Her comment was, because she was going back and forth for a minute, and she was like, I just want my people to go see a real therapist. And I'm like,
what does that mean?
But I am a real therapist.
So like in the training world, you have these Instagram people. Me personally, I don't like doing that because I actually day to day I'm training people, and I want that to be, you come see what I do. Like, and I'm gonna put some stuff out, whatever, but I'm not on Instagram.
You are running a lot right now with your shirt off on Instagram. Huh? You are running a lot right now. But that's just
that's content. I'm talking about if I was on there like all these other people do, like, hey, this is like teaching, and I don't do all that. I can do it when I want to, but I don't like that because I actually am embedded in my profession. Like, come see me, where I'm at, like, and I'm gonna showcase it, just the gym overall, but not myself like that, because I like to be, interchangeable. But I see what you're saying.
This is off topic, but I'm jealous of both of them shirts. Yeah, I'm mad. Why don't we have them shirts right now?
Well, this was a sample. We know this.
I just made it.
Because they got some customs.
Yeah, them boys got some.
No, I sent it out. Nobody buys nothing.
Like, I like that shirt, though.
I'm gonna buy that shirt. Buy that one.
Like, I'm gonna buy that shirt.
Yeah, it's your
I really like that shirt.
I like that one.
Appreciate you.
See, that's that sneak.
Yeah, that's
and we still got that
with them.
Okay, all right. So let's just jump in. First, we'll talk about the reason why I thought it was timely for you to be on, because last week Phil talked about our marketing and promotion for the Daily Fix.
Oh,
he said we were doing a talk show.
Yeah,
I want to let him know we're not doing a talk show.
Why does it look like a talk show?
Well, the picture, right? I was like, oh, they got a talk show? What's going on? I didn't know. That was advertisement, right?
It was advertisement.
What is the Daily Fix?
We're about to talk about it now. So you missed last week. Casey wasn't here.
Yeah.
Daily Fix is a community that we've put together. Brittainy, I'll let you explain it more elegantly than I will. But I wanted people to know that I'm not giving, like, people DM me talking about you're a therapist.
Yeah.
Like, I got that as a DM. So I wanted to explain that there is someone who is an actual therapist behind this. So please explain to the people what Daily Fix is. And then we have a men's meeting that we'll be starting here in a little bit also.
So the Daily Fix is the only online community that meets every morning, Monday through Friday.
Mm-hmm.
People are tuning in to hear me talk about different topics pertaining to mental health and wellness. We do a lot about helping people learn more about themselves, their patterns, identify thought processes that are getting in their way, give them feedback on how to adjust, how to change, behavior modification. So every month we have a different theme for that month. We've been going since January. So we started January off talking about your vision. What is the vision you have for yourself and who you want to be? We went into February where we did a full month on just relationships and attachment styles. So teaching people how are we picking our relationships based on who we are. And then March was...
I would lie. Yeah, so don't ask me.
But every month we have a different topic. And right now we're splitting the month of June between talking about purpose. So we've been having some really good conversations about knowing what your purpose is, how to show up in your purpose every day, teaching people basically how to operate in their current purposes. And as you evolve, how do I embrace new levels of my life where my purpose may look different?
Yeah.
And then we're going to have the second half of June be our men's month, where I'm actually going to sit down for those 2 weeks, the last 2 weeks of June, as the lead therapist. And I'm bringing in 6 Black men from Maryland.
Okay.
So Minds in Motion therapy practice in Maryland is 6 Black therapists. They're going to come into the Daily Fix, and every morning one of them will be talking topics specifically for Black men.
So what does LP do? Is he like the
He's just
guy?
well, okay, let me say this.
He's a narrator.
I am the facilitator of the group.
Oh, okay.
He's the moderator.
And I run all the technology.
He runs all the technology. Okay. He, gives me a buffer because talking every day for an hour.
He's Ernie.
I need a buffer so that either before we start the call or after we do the call, he does a lot with the community, keeping the community engaged.
Okay.
Because most time, once I log off, I want to log off.
Oh, I thought he was just like whatever you say, he'll be like.
But you know what? I have clips. I have clips of LP actually giving some very insightful information.
I want to see this shit.
My advice is terrible. I remember one time I gave some advice on the pod, and KC exact words were, "I've never," and I'm going to use the N word. Sorry, fella. I've never heard this nigga say anything like that before.
Yeah, you had 10 seconds.
He said, I know, my bad. He literally said that during the show. And someone was like, man, what do you be doing on that show? KC, why did you say that, brother? Why would you call me out like that when I tried to give some advice one time on the pod?
I honestly do not remember.
You don't remember that?
I do not, but I listened to the show last week, and y'all niggas in movies are terrible.
What you talking about?
I didn't know any movie titles.
We didn't know the titles.
And he say stuff for sure, like he be for sure, and it be wrong as hell.
What was the movie?
He talked about Splash, and the white woman in the movie was Daryl Hannah.
Yeah.
And Tom Hanks.
Yeah, I didn't know.
We didn't know that.
Y'all wouldn't have known that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But I was just driving, listening. I was answering.
Yeah.
But then it was
no, it was unfaithful that we didn't know. I said Angelina Jolie.
That wasn't even Angelina Jolie.
I know, we looked it up.
Ashley Judd.
We didn't know who it was.
Yeah,
we looked it up.
Ashley Judd. She always at the Kentucky game. And then
I don't.
But yeah, y'all just you say stuff and just be like
somebody said Basic Instinct.
No, we didn't say that.
I did.
Somebody
I was talking about the lady when she crossed the leg.
Sharon Stone.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
I didn't know
you just
who
say
that
stuff.
was. I thought that was Angie Stone.
The singer.
All right.
All right, so let's talk about purpose then. So in men's health and men's mental health, like do we know our purpose? Like that's a real question.
That's a broad question.
That's good, but you got to be able to answer that.
I'm just finding my purpose, bro.
Phil, do you know your purpose? I mean, outside of doing 33 sets of 2 to get the 66 push-ups, do you know your purpose, brother?
Now I do, yeah. I ain't gonna tell y'all, but I know it now.
Why do we think it takes so long for a brother to find his purpose?
We've got someone here maybe to ask.
I'm asking the question.
What you think, Brittainy?
Do you know your purpose, Casey? Well, let me ask right now. Do you think you know your purpose, Casey?
Not to go to jail.
Hey, that's a reasonable purpose.
Bullshit.
No bullshit.
But that's like I'm deepening in the conversation. But like, why does he have to think like that? Why do we have to think that?
He doesn't want to go to jail.
No. But
get raped.
What? Stop with that. I'm talking about like
that's real.
I don't think another race would have an answer like that. I don't think so.
Yes, Mexicans would say that probably. Yeah.
But you know what I mean. Like why do we even have to think that way?
Look,
I'm sorry. I said the other question because of, just the generational aspect. Like why does it take so long for a black man to find his purpose? Because we got to live life and get to a certain point and actually get, like, to his point, not going to jail, not getting shot at, not getting killed. You know what I'm saying? We got to get to a certain point before we even start thinking about a future.
Correct. Right. So what I was going to say was that his answer, right, not going to jail is not necessarily a purpose. It's an objective. Right.
It was really just to answer him.
No, but it highlights where a lot of people are in life. That answer is a reflection of us living in a state of survival.
Exactly.
Right. The reason why it takes people, not just black men, but people, period, and in the black community, the reason why it takes us so long to get to purpose is because we have to survive. In order for me to think about purpose, I have to be in a place where I'm thriving. Like I have it takes mental capacity to look past my current circumstances. So when we talk about purpose, I define purpose as really thinking about the purpose of a thing, right? When they created the electronic can opener, somebody said, I'm creating this device that is going to open this can, in a certain way, in a certain fashion. They had to think about what they wanted done and create the thing that was going to do it. When I think about purpose, I have to think about what was the thing that needed to be done when I was created. Because I wasn't just created to just breathe every day. That there was actual thought, process, and intention behind Brittany's coming into the world to do this thing. What is she coming into the world to do? When we're born, it's our jobs to figure out what was the thing I was coming here to do, and then find a way to do that thing every day on different levels throughout my life. So to even get there, I have to be in a place within myself where I'm not worried about where's the next meal coming from. Are my lights going to be on? Is somebody going to shoot me today? Are my kids going to be safe? I have to be in a certain level of safety for me to even get to a point where I have the luxury of considering the purpose of my life.
It's also, it can be would you say it can be catapulted by experience? Let's just say if like that young child that's going through everything that you just said, he walk outside his house, he got to worry about a nigga talking about him or bullying him or whatever it is, but he's good at basketball or he's good at, whatever. He fantasizes on that bus like, man, I wonder how they make these highways. Like I talked to a guy the other day, an engineer. He's an engineer now, but
he talks to the most.
I swear to God, I went to a mixer, bro. Like I talked to black people, but he was like, I was like, how the hell you get into making highways? He's like, man, I used to sit on the bus and it was fascinating to me, and I just went through with it. And he's like, on the way going through the process, I had other friends that was fascinated by it. They just got caught up in, you know what I'm saying? So
makes sense.
Yeah, that's why I say, like, with black men, I know with me personally, like people see me now, like, man, my life is still this, you know what I'm saying? But I had a vision and I'm here where I am, but yeah, that shit is hard.
Is there a difference between purpose and vision, or is it the same?
I would say slightly different.
Okay.
Right? Vision is what I say. And for me, vision, for a long time, vision for me was about what I wanted to do in the world or what I wanted to see happen, my accomplishments and my achievements. recently, right? Maybe within the last 2 years, I have shifted to vision being a state of being.
Okay.
Right. So for me, when I think about what my vision is for my life, the first things I look for are emotional words. How do I want to feel? What do I want when I wake up in the morning? What do I want my life to feel like? Not just what I want to accomplish. I separate my vision of what I want my life to be, and then I have a mission. My mission is the thing that I'm doing to get the vision, right? Because the mission can change, right? If I say I'm doing therapy today, cool. I could say I'm selling bundles tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right? Whatever the mission is always can change and be flexible, but my vision is still the same of how I want to wake up, how I want to see myself, how I want to experience the world and other people.
I think I had a vision. So early, my young adulthood, I told the fellas before, like, my vision was to get out of the hood. I don't even want to say the hood, just my environment. I got to get out of this. I know it's more to the world than this. And once I got out of it, within that, because I had to teach myself, right? I had nobody to look to. So within that, I built a confidence and an arrogance. I could do this shit all by myself. Fuck it, you know? But that backfired on me too, because I got comfortable with what I got accomplished from that vision. And so, yeah, that definitely, so I don't know if I had, what was the question again? A what?
Like purpose.
I don't know if I had purpose, but I had a vision. I got that vision. I got to that vision of getting out of this certain area I was in and got to the good stuff, so to speak. And I got too comfortable, lax, and
But you saw the vision, but you had to believe in that vision for it to turn into a purpose for you.
I don't know if I believed in it. I just wasn't taking, I got to get there.
Yeah, but you use basketball?
No, it wasn't even basketball. I used my wit, savviness. I learned how to talk. Like, so when we grow up, you talk a certain type of way, incorrect grammar. I'm like, nah, I'm not talking like that. Like, if I get in front of somebody, I'm gonna learn how to speak. You know what I mean? That could take you a long way. My appearance, the way I dress myself, I know that's important. I use all of that. So it wasn't just basketball. Basketball was just, I knew that was my talent. But it didn't take me far, right? The savviness, my physical appearance.
I was more so talking about like in that time. Okay, I see what you're saying, but my point was you had to have something that I talked to my barber, right? So this nigga ain't know he was gonna cut hair, but he was just telling me. I was telling him that I had family in town and shit. He cutting my hair, whatever. And I was like, and I said, "What you doing this weekend?" He's like, "Man, I ain't got no family. He from Chicago." And he was like, "Yeah, I ain't had no family. I ain't had nothing. I ain't had no Thanksgivings, no Christmases, no. I was in the streets. So he moved out here. He had to just teach himself. He had no purpose.
Yeah,
his purpose was to get money because he was gonna be broke. So the only way to make money is to go sell drugs.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So." He was just telling me like he ain't had no purpose. Yesterday he was telling me, but his purpose, he see it now. Like he's cutting hair, he's good at it. Moved his family out here.
Yeah.
So like, that's where I see like our community, we just fall off. There's no vision when you waking up to bullshit and you ain't good at anything. You don't even know your talents yet.
Yeah.
So, and then you see your partners walking up in Jordans and stuff back in, you know what I'm saying? Back when we grew up, that was, you know what I'm saying? If they got it, how come I can't have it?
Right.
And they got the same situation as me.
Same
family fucked up, whatever.
Your house might look better than their house. How you got the Jordans?
Yeah.
For real. That's how I used to be. Man, how you got the Jordans? It's crazy. It's just, but it's the mental, you gotta have mental strength for sure.
Do y'all think y'all's purpose is wrapped up in what you do?
I think so.
That's kind of that value conversation.
I think so.
Like men, we put everything on what we do versus who we are.
Ooh,
like, do you feel like your purpose or your value got better the more you've been able to do stuff with the gym?
Yeah, because I'm a community guy. I like community. I like
you like
building.
Charleston White?
No,
I
like obviously I like training and all that, but it's just more so like just building something from the ground up, just like what we did with this. You know what I'm saying? Staying consistent, staying loyal. Like I like a community. I like building something. I don't like systematic stuff.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying? I've always kind of been like that. So when I got settled into what I'm doing, and I'm still trying to progress, but this is where I want to be. This is how I want to make money. This is how I want to be. I want to be passionate, and I want to pursue and just feel love around me, and pour in love to what I'm doing in order to progress.
Like Rich Porter.
Huh? Yeah.
You need that love, baby.
I'm just saying, it's all about love with me. It's like if we got that down packed, like anything is possible.
So let me ask you, so the communities that you enjoy being around and the communities that you enjoy building, right? What do those communities get when they get you?
I would say, man, we done changed some lives around, man. I done had people tell me, like, man, you don't know, last week I wanted to kill myself.
Oh, man.
Like that type of shit. When people say stuff like that to you,
yeah.
And, since they've been working out with me 3 times a week, that's been off their mind. Like, what do you do with that?
That's tough.
And I've gotten that plenty of times.
Yeah.
And it's just like, why are you telling me? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not God. Like, I'm just a guy. I care because you walk through my door and you want to improve your life, and I got the tools to improve your life. Yeah. Also, if you pouring in money into what I do, I fuck with you on a different level.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Especially if you not just coming in here for a week and then disappearing.
Yeah.
You cool with me. So it's just a deeper level of passion in what I'm pouring in. And then when I get that response, it's just like,
I want to know, what y'all purposes are. Like, y'all are, you pretty deep into your teaching with the kids. I know, his stuff is important because he get the kids. What grades you teaching? You teach all grades, right?
Yeah, elementary school.
So that's important, right? That's the start of everything, pretty much. So, like, what do you feel like? Do you feel like that's your purpose, Kay?
Not to go to jail. Simple.
Are you in threat of going to jail or?
Could be.
Do you do things to go to jail?
Huh?
Do you do things?
No. I prevent myself from a lot of things. And so as long as I stay that route, then I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
If you had a get out of jail free card and you knew that if I was ever in threat of going to jail, I could just pull this card and it all goes away, what would you be doing with your life then?
I could possibly kill someone.
Okay.
Wait, hold on. Yeah, that's not good. Like, I know to get out of jail free card. That is enticing. Yeah, that is enticing, but murder is a lot.
I'm just saying, I prevent myself from a lot of things, and I stay very observant of that. So whenever I feel like I'm kind of steering from my morality, then I just stay the hell away from stuff. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, that's I guess my purpose is to be guided by my moral compass. Because if I lose that, there's no telling what I could do. Mm-hmm. And I'm very, very much so aware of that. So yeah.
How does the world benefit by you being in it?
They brought up the youth. Like I truly, and I don't know, joking or doing none of that. Like, I truly care about the youth more than I do adults, because it's to form and shape them and use the experiences of what I had as a kid to help guide them. And I feel like I do that every day. But yeah, adults, it's just too, like, you can't shape and form an adult. Like, they just too cemented in their ways. And, it's the golden rule, treat people how you want to be treated, but people don't go by that. And then when you do treat people how you want to be treated and they don't treat you that way, then they vilify you because of you react. Mm-hmm. And then again, that moral compass come. Because like growing up, I used to just be ready to fight at any given moment. Now I'm trying to get away from that, and I'm doing a good job of doing so because I haven't gotten a fight in years. But it's still like I always follow that spot because I just watched Spider-Man with my son. But that cartoon on the opening theme, he had Venom on one side and Spider-Man on the other, and Peter Parker in the middle getting stretched out. it is that morality compass, and then, hey, let's just knock these niggas out that be stretching me out sometimes, and then it just kind of fucks with me at times. So, it's silly stuff like that, but it's like real, like, is really in me to just be like messed up by it, especially when I feel like I've been wrong. And when I feel like I've been wrong, I'm either just not gonna fuck with you and then just go about my way, or I can slip back into that mode, and I don't want to slip back into that mode. So, yeah.
And I think that that's one of the reasons why the conversation that we're going to have for the last 2 weeks of June for the Men's Week is important, because what I'm hearing is, one, especially I used to work with male veterans who served in Iraq and Afghanistan. I taught anger management, right? So a lot of the times they would describe to me what you're describing, where it's this part of them where it's like, hey, I'm a vet. I know how to kill people. This is what I do. I don't have to solve problems with communication because I got skills over here. But then you can go to jail, right? And family falls apart. So they're caught in this place where they're like, well, this is how I know how to solve conflict. This is how I know to get my voice heard. This is how I know how to vent my frustrations, or to be right if I've been wronged. But those things also contradict directly with the kind of life that I'm trying to build. And I think that there are these false expectations that the world, society, sometimes that we do place on men, that solving issues in a certain way, if it's not aggressive, right, that means that you lost, or it means that you're weak, or it means that they got the better half of you. So a lot of that frustration, what I'm hearing for you is like, I got to get them, because if I didn't get them back, and it means they got one over on me, right? And it creates a very uncomfortable place for you to be within yourself, because now I'm at war with myself about how I want to handle it.
Yep.
Based on what society tells me I should be doing, right? There's a lot of different ways in which that can be remedied, right? But I think, kind of going back to what this whole conversation has to be, when it comes to purpose, we have to redefine who we want to be in relation to the world. I think a lot of times we come into the world, things happen, we don't get to pick our families. So we adapt to the places in which we were raised. We adapt to being raised in the hood. We adapt to being raised poor. We adapt to being raised in an abusive home. We adapt, and we become people that don't necessarily support what we were actually intended to come here and do. And I think I truly believe that if you have been purposed, like the people who have been purposed to be the most loving people, they go through the most hell with people. Because what I truly feel like, whatever you were purposed to do, that's the thing that gets attacked the most, so that you don't do it.
That's interesting.
Right?
Oh, man, that's deep.
The thing that gets my heart is the best part of me on most days, right? My ability to empathize, my ability to feel other people's emotions. I said on the Daily Fix, if I wasn't a therapist, I would be somewhere else, but I would still be helping people, because my gift is what I was intended to do. So even if my vehicle changed, if my mission changed, I would be selling bundles and giving advice, because that's just who I am, right?
Yeah.
But that's also the part of me that has been attacked since childhood, right? Many times the barriers that prevents us from getting to our purpose is the fact that your purpose is always going to be the first thing attacked. And so the battle is, do I allow the world, if we go spiritual, the devil, demons, whoever, situations to attack the best parts of me that stop me from becoming this version that I want to be? Or do I choose to learn how to become this person in spite of? Now, believe me, it's work on that other side. But it's also work to stay in a place where I feel like there's more to me and never getting there.
And you talk about the in spite of, and that's kind of one of the things that I do, because I'm a very petty person, but I use it on myself as well. Because like I talked about being in that war, like you said, like when some people say something shady or something like that, a slick comment or something, I could easily joke back and I can really hurt your feelings. But then I know if I go this route, I'm just dumbing down to their point, and really that's beneath me at this point. Like case in point, I talked about it. I wrote about it on Instagram the other day. Me and my son went to go see Spider-Man. We're in the movie theater in Oklahoma. Mind you, I don't want to be in Oklahoma. I got too much stuff that happened in Oklahoma. I really like I real life hate Oklahoma. Like I don't, it just make my skin crawl.
I like Oklahoma.
I'm in there in the movie. In the middle of the movie, somebody throws a piece of ice and it hit me square in the head, like from behind. And I looked back, and then like I kind of stood up, and I was like, what the fuck? And like I'm scanning the room, and it's like teens. It's not like just like little kids. It's like teens, but then it's like young adults, like probably college age students, and they all them in Spider-Man get up and all that stuff. So in my mind, it was like, all right. Instantly, I thought about Steven Jackson climbing seats and just swinging on people. But then I was like, yo, I'm in Oklahoma. I'm picking up my son so he can live with me.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna let this defeat me. Like, and then I just sat down, and then when I sat down, I literally like leaned forward and like calmed myself down because my son was like, "Why are you leaning forward?" I was like, "I'm really kind of plexed up, but I'm good." And so I took that moment and calmed down. But it's like when these things type of stuff happen, people kind of like don't really understand that war, like, and when you try to voice it out, then they just make it like, I mean, you just tripping. And I've been kind of dealing with that my entire life, from basketball, from a kid, from basketball, even now as an adult. And now that's what I try to like tell these kids, to express themselves, and like, don't be afraid to express yourself. Always express yourself. Even if somebody don't take it as well, just express yourself. Because I didn't express myself like I can do now. I used to just fight it out. And yeah.
I want you to see how that's exactly a perfect demonstration, right? Where we first talked about you feeling like my purpose is to help kids mold and shape them.
You say kill kids.
Hey.
she did not say kid.
Right, it's your purpose to help mold and shape them, and the one that you are going to be held responsible for the most, you find yourself in a situation where you are being tried in a position to lose the possibility to ever do that, right? And this is why I said we have to be able to decide in every situation, who do I want to be in spite of? The thing that you are purposed to do, and the better you are at doing it, that's always going to be attacked, right? So in that moment, whether he remembers it or not, that'll be a day that you remember for sure. But this is a defining moment of, who do I want to be in relation to not being a father to my son, but in my purpose. And I think that a lot of times, especially I've worked with men, strictly for men, for 4 years. And the reason why I say, do you define purpose by what you do, is because so many men do. That my job, the thing that I do, the thing that I'm committed to, personal
I think that's what I do.
It's the title.
Yeah.
That gives me purpose. But those titles are temporary.
Correct.
Those titles can change. Those titles don't even belong to you most times, right? If nobody in Houston said, I don't think he's a personal trainer, right? Or something happened and nobody ever came to your gym, is your purpose gone then? Right? Because who you are, specifically what you said about being able to build communities, talking to people. First of all, talking to people is a skill. That is something that is not, it's a gift for a lot of people. And the fact that people are comfortable talking to you on the level that they do, that's where the purpose is, right? So it's realizing that my purpose is not wrapped up in what I do. What I do is my vehicle. But this is important because this is where I see the breakdown in families. Because when men define themselves based on what they do, they miss the impact of who they are in the family. That yes, being able to provide a paycheck, or yes, being able to take care of the bills or take off certain financial pressures, those are great. We need those. But we also need your integrity. We also need your emotional control. We also need your emotional stabilization. We also need your honesty. We also need your heart. There are more that we need from you from a family standpoint than what you do.
But I would say that we don't receive that in messaging. I think in messaging, if you would look, and this probably was a part of that clip that went viral, like, it's not anything other than, what can you do for me? And if you listen to any popular song now, like, it's, we breaking the brothers, we getting them for what we can get them for. City Girls is up. Like, there is no building relationships. It's just, everything is transactional.
My grandmama said, watch the messenger. I don't care who's giving you the message. This messenger who's sending the message. What's the man's name? The red pill guy? All day he telling me women like me are not attractive. Now I can listen to that message, but I don't trust the messenger. I don't even want the messenger. Right. So therefore, why is his opinion of me valid? And many times when you don't understand your purpose and you don't understand your identity, you will take the message of someone, half them city girls you wouldn't even wife.
Yeah.
But you're living your life based on standards to please them.
I mean, but that's the what they're seeing.
Let that settle.
But that's what they're seeing.
No, but they are.
That's what I'm saying. Like they're out there. Like
they are wifing them though.
But I'm not saying they. I'm talking about you, because every man that I'm talking about in this conversation does not fit that mold.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
If you want that lifestyle, then yes, that is who you should wife.
Yeah.
But for people who are saying that we value men who understand who they are, we want men who are leaders, we want men who are in touch with their both your emotional side and the masculine parts of you that makes you protectors. That we're telling you that we want both. I ain't gonna go there. But there are
you might
Please do.
Don't ever say nothing like that on that podcast.
Because what I have seen, because even the men will come into my comments on my videos and they'll say, "Oh, women like her don't exist." You know, she's the only woman who thinks like this. It's not. I promise you, I'm not.
Man, I get on here every week. What I tell y'all, I deal with women every day, all day, and they are saying that they just want somebody that's just cool and out the way, and you can be you. Like they just want a man. Like fuck all the Instagram. You know what I'm saying? They keep coming in the gym talking about how they'll go on a date, and the first conversation is, what do you do? Like what's your financial is the conversation instead of, you know, whatever
what do you
else.
Bring to the table.
Yeah, or like, what music do you like? You know what I'm saying? Like whatever. You know what I'm saying? So when they meet these people on these swiping apps. We
talked about apps last week.
Yeah, we were talking. I'm just saying, like, so that's like people are looking for just normal people, and the normal people are there. They just getting caught up in Instagram and social media, and they think that there's a pool of people. There's just a demographic, like she's a Instagram influencer. He's, you know what I'm saying? He's all online. Let me see who follow him. Let me see who follow her. Let me see who they associated with, instead of just meeting somebody and just clicking.
And I think the cost for qualifying for a good
you got it.
The cost for qualifying for a good person, whether it's man or a woman, I think the cost has gone up, because what I think qualified us to be good for partnership before has changed, just because of the level of information we have. Like, it's no longer acceptable for us to go into relationships not knowing or not willing to communicate, right? Yeah. So you just can't say, I just don't know how to communicate. Well, that's unfortunate. I mean, there's somebody out there who will accept that, right? So because we're embracing therapy, right, at larger rates. Men are going to therapy. There, of course, women have been in therapy for years without judgment, but a lot of more men are going to therapy. They come to me, right? I have majority of my couple sessions are booked by men, right?
Trying to save their relationships or trying to prove a point?
No, save it. They're trying to find ways to fix the issues that are going on, and they're like, I don't know what to do at this point.
Did they cheat to get in that situation?
Did they cheat?
Yeah.
Not all the time.
Was it like inflicted by a consequence?
Not all the time. Not all the time. And it's not even always that she's leaving me. It's we just can't communicate. We're not having sex, we're not talking, and I'm trying to fix it. So it's not always that I've done something, now I'm trying to.
Okay, that's what I was.
Just things changed in the relationship.
Correct.
And they're trying to, that's what I'm differently in thinking that way. I think things should change in your relationship. And you got to embrace that change versus trying to get back to what it used to be.
Correct.
Because I think when people try to get back, oh, you used to be this way, that's when you start running into problems. Not realizing that, no, I'm doing this now. I've got a business. I've got that. We got kids. There's different responsibilities attached to that. And I think that can be a challenge. Like, oftentimes a man's not thinking about all the things that a woman may go through in their relationship. And of course, we're talking about just... if you run from that change, then you might end up with a therapist saying, I can't figure out what happened. Like, you're trying to figure it out.
And that's normal, right? I think the reason why, of course, we should embrace therapy individually, but also as couples. And I tell people all the time, even when you just commit to a relationship, go to therapy. Because even the best relationships are going to trigger certain things inside of you, right? Your partner should challenge you. Your partner should challenge you to be better or to think higher or to think of, okay, my partner, this is his strength. This is what he brings to the table. How am I getting better? How am I changing so that our partnership is stronger, right? Mm-hmm. And that can be difficult because I said it on my live a while ago that most times when women, people always say, well, women don't hold themselves accountable. It's not that women have a hard time holding themselves accountable. They are trying to escape shame. Mm. When we feel like we have disappointed someone or let them down, we feel shame about who we are, not what we did. Mm. So a lot of women have a hard time holding themselves accountable in their relationships because if you tell me I did something wrong, I feel bad about who I am. Mm-hmm. So I can't own up to that because then it says I'm a bad person, right? Most people aren't as insightful to see that. Mm-hmm. But every relationship is going to trigger things in you that you may not have even known were there. So we have to be willing to say, it's okay to reach out to a therapist to say, hey, we may not even be having problems. Mm-hmm. We just want to see, is there anything else we could be doing to making the relationship
I think
better?
Sometimes people feel like if you reach out to a therapist, there's something wrong.
No.
Like it's not we're going because things are good. Mm. Like there's a less than it used to be, mm-hmm. but there's definitely more of a negative connotation to going to a therapist.
I think we passed that part.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
No.
That's my opinion, though.
Yeah, that's
my opinion.
Because if I've been around dudes and said like, hey, I'm like I had never been in a therapy session, but mm-hmm. like I've said some vulnerable things, mm-hmm. and they, oh, okay, like they like, but 5 years ago, I remember telling my roommates I'm about to move in with my lady. Mm-hmm. They couldn't understand that shit for the life of them, and I'm trying to pour out my, like, bro, I don't even know how to explain this shit. Y'all will get there one day, promise you. Right. This is what OG told me. Mm-hmm. Like, you ain't gonna know until you know. So I'm trying to explain that to him. They ain't trying to hear it. Mm-hmm. And then, 5 years later, they in the same boat. And I'm like, bro, I told y'all. Like, but but I think we're past that part of,
I don't know.
In the Black community, like, I think therapy is here.
I think maybe Black women more so than Black men for sure.
I would say, entertainment wise, my wife and kids kind of helped coax that because they used to always go to therapy and they made it like a joke with the mm-hmm. therapist with Michael and all that stuff, but it was still like seeing a Black couple not about to be on the verge of divorce. Wasn't those episodes where like, they was broken up or anything like that. It was just they were going as a weekly session. And then even when they had like their disputes about, what happened in the session, or if you felt like the shelving was going, kind of her way, it still kind of brought everything together, and it brought a positive light, I guess, on, relationship therapy. So, I mean, I get that from that show in regards to, Black couples going to therapy. The only reason I asked that question is because you said the men was reaching out. And in that show, of course, Jay was the one that was setting up all those appointments.
Black men don't like to leave their women either. Like, period.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, it is brothers will try to, even if you messed up, brothers will try to save their relationships. Like, we do not like to leave
even the hood
our women.
Brother.
Every black men do not like to leave their women.
I'm gonna say that therapy is so important.
I left.
You wouldn't leave now, though.
No,
that's what we're talking about.
Girlfriends.
No. We're not. We're talking about your woman. Mm-hmm. Girlfriend is different. Like fiance, married. There's a difference between your girlfriend.
Mm. I would say, when I first started going to therapy, I was abusing it, meaning that I wasn't going in there being truthful. Mm-hmm. It took me a while. Like, I was spending all this money, bro. But it's so hard for you to relinquish the secrets that you have within. Like, you don't want nobody to know that, but you don't know that once you relinquish it, the best you could is going to be available. Mm-hmm. So that was a journey within itself, especially when you're going with someone that you love. You might say something in therapy, you'd be like, damn, how this going to go when we get out of here? Mm-hmm. Right? They calm and there, but when we get out of here, you're back to normal life, right? It's only 60 minutes. And so what I did was I had to go through something traumatic for me to be like, you know what? I'm hands off. I got to tell everything. Let me go ahead and tell everything. And that really helped me. But Also, the fellas help me. Each one of these dudes are therapists within themselves, so I could come to JC and talk to him about something. And this dude asked so many interesting questions, as you can see. It helped me. Even if I had to explain to him something that I was going through, LP, he just knows a lot of shit. So, and he's experienced a lot of shit. KC is even though he's like a grizzly bear, he's soft, man, and it's important to have that softness. You know what I'm saying? And each one of them I've learned something from. So every time I come to do the pod, it's almost like a therapy session. They don't know it, but he's a therapist. I did a show. No. Let me tell you, because I did a show with one of your clients, right?
Oh yeah.
Paige, right?
Yeah.
And she was like, I tell him everything. And he gives the greatest advice. He don't know. He's just talking shit and pumping iron. He don't give a fuck. But he's helping people. Like, you know what I mean? And I'm sure Kay is helping these kids.
Without question.
Don't do that, yo.
The kid stuff is big. Like
That's huge.
Like I know he jokes a lot about this is who my parents were talking about, or this is like, you put up comments of what you see the kids say to their families, but they are doing that because they value you.
Right.
Like they're going home.
Crucial, man.
You're probably one of the best moments of their day.
Coach.
You know what I'm saying?
Man,
like that makes a difference. I hated my coaches.
I love my coach.
My coach lied to me and said the only reason why black people were athletic is because they had an extra calf muscle in their leg. He told me that. That wasn't Oklahoma. That was in New Mexico. And I hated him since then.
That's crazy.
but so we talked men value, but before we go into a few topics, let's talk like women value a little, because that comes up on all these podcasts. Now we approach it in a different way.
Sure. People think that we're the misogynistic, the trend that's
not so much. They try.
I mean, but they ask. I had people like ask me, so what are y'all talking? Y'all one of them? Like, no, we're not.
That is
first
the first
of all,
thing people
first of all, we was ahead of this shit before a lot of these motherfuckers popped up. First of all, you know what I'm saying?
But we never have leaned into any of the
we don't do all that
relationship stuff. Like we'll
be joking about it and shit, but all of us, we have got the game and.
But the value conversation comes up a lot on podcasts, and it's a popular topic. What are your thoughts on the woman side of it? Like we talked about, hey, men, you can't only have your value be what you do.
Right.
What do you think on the woman side of that spectrum?
I think about
let's have an open mind here.
No, I think about the conversation that Iyanla did with Charlamagne.
Ebony K. Williams.
No, she did one with Charlamagne before she did that one. That, yeah. And she talked, the clip that was going viral was her telling women that they're masculine. Right.
Yes, I remember that.
And she was saying, women don't know how to be feminine, and she was agreeing with a lot of things. And I watched that clip multiple times because I love Iyanla. I have aspirations to meet her and speak on stage with her one day. And I 100% understand what she was saying, right? Now, hearing what she had to say didn't feel good, right? But because on one hand, and Charlamagne even said it, he said what I was feeling, which is what, women actually have a reason to be masculine, right? And she was like, they do. What I do know in 100% truth that I will never...
So we clear.
Because we're not protected.
Okay.
Period.
Black women particularly. Or would you just say women?
Women, period.
Okay.
But black women for sure.
Okay.
Where was that change? When y'all were protected?
And this is where I killed everybody, because we can go all the way back to slavery. I'm not going to do that. I will just reach from my 33 years on earth that we are not protected in our families. One, because in the black household, what happens in this household stays in this household, right? So if you were touched by your little cousin, don't tell nobody. If your uncles was making pass at you, and sometimes parents intervene and sometimes they didn't. I know this from my family's experience. I know this from my clients' experiences. We are not protected, right? And then you have... Would
you say it's a deeper... And I'm not... I'm definitely not, going with that. But I'm just saying... the dynamic of like, even if not that extreme, but like calling the police. Like we don't call the police. Like that's another issue. We ain't got no money. Like even calling the paramedics.
No,
we don't do that.
You don't do
that. So you think it's like a systematic thing that really puts us down in that realm?
Everything is systematic, right?
Yeah.
I think everything comes from what happened, and we can go, I always say we can go as far back. I focus less on where it started. I focus on where we are today.
I got you. Okay.
Right? Because figuring out where it started, that's great, but it ain't going to change nothing about today. But if we, and this is where the whole whose value, who's the prize, if we all take ownership in saying that both men and women are valuable individuals, that we are here to complement each other and not compete with each other, that I'm supposed to have lack so that you have value, you're supposed to have lack so that I have value, that's how literally everything, we're all like locks and keys to each other. But if I continue to find out where you're deficient so that I feel better, I'm going to continue to devalue you so that I feel better about who I am, missing the fact if I devalue you, you have the key to something I need. A woman's value is wrapped up in my ability to be empathetic, to be soft, to be the heart center of the space. I'm supposed to bring in the softness. I'm supposed to bring in the nurturing. That is, listen, a woman's power. Why you think Helena Troy brought down a whole kingdom? Right? I've been watching Reign all weekend, so.
You look, Brittainy watches the worst. Y'all should be watching Hunger Games, Hobbits.
I like medieval stuff. But,
I feel that.
But it never fails that a king somewhere is going to kill a whole bunch of people behind a woman.
Over a woman.
Never fails.
And even now, right now,
it never fails, right? Yeah. So. And this is why when people say, well, femininity, they perceive us as being weak. They perceive us as being, doormats. And I was like, if you're using femininity correctly, you are not a doormat. You at all. You were the most powerful person in the room when you know who you are in your feminine self, right? Masculinity is great. I love masculinity. It's helped me survive a lot of stuff. It's helped me be successful in a lot of things I do. But I know that in order to create lasting change in my life and in the rooms that I'm in, I have to go in my heart space. That's what makes me that person that they can't forget. That's what makes me that person that they say, well, when I'm standing in her presence, I feel something, right? It's like when they say, you may forget a face or a name, but you don't forget how people make you feel, right? I know that if I'm walking in a certain posture, you're going to feel something when you interact with me. And that's where my power is. Not in trying to be masculine enough to force your hand or force you to get you to do something. I'm soft enough that you want to do it, right? And that's where we bring value to the man is because, and I say it because not all men allow us to do it. And that's a whole nother conversation. But I have found even the men that I'm truly soft with and I approach them in that way, they run like, when you're trying to catch a stray dog and put him in a cage, it's like. So
you don't lead with that in a relationship.
With what, femininity?
Let's just say, or let's just say the people that are dating, like the women that are dating, should they lead with their femininity? And obviously they should figure out if this guy's gonna play, like if he's on some bullshit or not or whatever. But that's what I'm saying. Should they lead with that, or should they stay on city girl, young Miami? You know what I'm saying? Like,
you should always be in the posture. First of all, you should always be who you want to be. Number one.
Okay.
So these are not things I'm doing to get a certain outcome. I'm being who I want to be because I like me when I'm like this. That's number one. 2 is I'm doing this, but there are also boundaries. Right? So it's like when we pass through River Oaks and we see all these nice houses and we're like, oh, I could live there. Oh, they got the drive up and I can see what they have, but I don't have access to it. That's what femininity is. I'm going to show you what you could have access to, but there are boundaries. There are levels, right? That will either grant you access into my home or not.
Yeah. Some of y'all on Instagram, y'all ain't got no boundaries. Like we know what's happening.
They created the social media is their world that they operate out of.
That's true for some people.
But even for them, my outlook on it is, if they are genuinely happy in what they're doing, all power to them. I don't like you name drop. You name drop, but again, I don't care to find out.
We don't care.
But so much energy get put in if they are like, just, I mean, if they putting what they putting out and they genuinely happy, then that's fine.
Yeah, that makes sense.
If they not, that's on them. It'll come out, and then you don't have to play that solving mystery and thing like that. Because what it is you see, like, people see stuff, you see what they putting out, and then you get like you brought up with the driveway and stuff and wanting it, but then that wanting it becomes almost an obsession. And then while you're obsessing over something that somebody else got, then you trick over to that level of becoming a whole ass person where now you wondering what they got, how they got it, how can you get it, what can you do to prevent them from getting it so you can get it. It's different levels to that, and then it's just about almost like the driveway. You get one little space in that pavement on that driveway, you're gonna find a way to get to the door. So if you don't give that energy of wondering, like, is this person really like this or like that and all that stuff, which is hard to do because Instagram, everybody don't have that outlook. But if they had that mindset, it would be less of this going on. Because I mean, you brought up City Girls. What's her name?
Miami. Yeah.
Carisha.
Her. She was kissing Diddy or whatnot, and everybody's so like, goals, or then and who cares? Yeah. Like if it don't apply to you, let it fly. It shouldn't matter. That much energy shouldn't be put out. But then again, it gets put out, and then you got people that's like, yeah, why they kissing all like that? Or people like me. I'm up talking about people having energy about this. Like, yeah, it's a given. It's dumb.
I was more so talking about like just the reality of the dating situation or whatever. Like, okay, you putting yourself out like however you want to. You a city girl, you just want a nigga buy you Birkins, whatever. But don't come back over here saying how this nigga's a this, that, and the third. Like, bro, this is the jungle that you're in, or this is how you want to portray it. You want to go in this life, that's the type of shit you gonna get.
Man, it's a complex world, man. It's like,
and I agree with that answer.
Yeah, it's like you can start off like that city girl type thing, and then be like, you know what, this shit kind of dumb.
People have the right to change.
You have the right to change, but while you in that process, that's the world that you're in. So I ain't got no answers for you. That's what you're doing.
And like you said, the mission can change.
How you accomplish it.
Hey man, you talk, and I ain't gonna talk for y'all, but I've been in the streets. I've been in Houston all my life. Like, and I ain't know my wife all my life, but I met her, and that changed my perspective. But before that, I was raised by Lil Kiki and all them screw boys. Like,
that makes sense though. It makes sense.
I mean, staying on that because I was in the streets as well, and it was just like I had the same mindset. What you got going on in your own time don't apply to me. Like, when we together, if we kicking it and it's cool. It's cool, but if it's not, then I'm gonna let it be. I'm gonna go.
You a cool
but
dude,
you different,
though.
though.
Yeah,
but that's what I'm saying, though. I'm not trying to invoke what I'm saying. Yeah. I'm just saying, like, the only problem that I have with anything that goes on with Instagram are the debates about what other people got going on. It shouldn't matter. Like, if it's not happening to you or not detrimental to you, it shouldn't matter. Like, debates about like Trump and stuff like that, I can understand that because that kind of trickles down on us because like it's laws and then it's influencing people. It's influencing people to be on this hateful stuff. Too, yeah. So that could hurt me in the longevity of things. But like Diddy kissing Carisha, that don't do nothing for me. Except I gotta see this shit all the time now. Like,
but that's why we don't talk about those type of things, because like it would be insane.
I would ask you a question. Y'all got kids. Like, so what do y'all see the trajectory of society as far as dating? Y'all got kids, like, so they're in Keelan, he 17 years. Well, no, he 15 years old. What?
You get it in 2 years?
Because that nigga didn't got tall. But he 15 years old. So what do y'all think about the scale like that with y'all kids? Like, man, what is the world gonna be?
You gotta go to him.
How do I give him my morals or how I
He
grew
in it
up?
right now. We ain't
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
We
still ain't.
But y'all gotta think about that though.
I've thought about it for
but
sure.
I'm
he
here
in
now.
it. Yeah,
So
he
I'm here
in
now.
it.
Right.
We talk about it. Like I tell him to open. Like we discuss these things. Like if you got a girlfriend, you know, matter of fact. Sorry, Kim, I'm gonna put your little business out. When I went to Oklahoma, I saw he had a hole in his wall, and I was like, "What happened here?" And he discussed what happened. The girl made him upset and got in his feelings and hit the first thing that came to his mind. And I told him, first thing I told him was, you're not bringing that shit. You're not bringing that shit in Texas. But again, I told him, I've had some kind of encounters like this, but at the same time, it's a learning experience. And then you got to always just keep it G. Like you can't have nobody make you have this kind of energy over, you know, like especially not the girl, but like what happens with the girl.
No doubt.
You know what I'm saying?
The activity should never get you that upset.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. Like, do we teach them the things that we were taught, plus how the society is? You know what I'm saying?
I'm teaching him how to just express himself, because that was one of the things he couldn't do. Like that's why he did that. But just express yourself, and then also just like be able to take in other people's perspective, because once you can do that, you can really just kind of scope the whole scene, and then it kind of give you the answers to what you got going on in the first place. You can see if somebody not really feeling you at no point. I've had girls where like they kind of go, we talking every day, and then it go a little bit distance, and then it was long distance in the first place, but you know what I'm saying, it go a little distance. Oh, okay. You got a situation going on, you know that. Okay, cool. Wish you well, and as simple as that.
But what's crazy, there are men out there who like they possess women in their head, and they be ready to murder. It's really dangerous to be a woman. I think personally in 2023, because there are some men don't like to take no for an answer. Or
I'm gonna let you finish, but you hear about people getting killed because they got turned down on their advances.
That's exactly what I was about to go to.
That's
so you're
what
right.
I'm
Yeah. So what, like in your case then, because I know we're not gonna tell your business on the pod, but you may, how do you approach dating then? Like, and we're gonna throw the caveat. I wasn't gonna throw a business on the pod. You're high profile also. You are like extremely.
Yeah.
So
people perceive me to be high profile. I don't.
Because your follower count.
I just met you.
But I
exactly.
I just look. Let me tell you
high
something.
profile.
I just met her. I know who you are, but I don't pay attention. I'm too busy. But when I met you in the hallway, you was gonna do jujitsu on me. No, hey, I'll be honest. But she said she was gonna do. I know jujitsu, but that was just some.
I am a tad bit hyper. Okay, so this
no, but to me that was some easy going, like, you know what I'm saying. Then hey, I'm Brittainy. Yeah. Like, you cool, easy going, whatever.
But so how do you approach it then?
Okay. So I forgot. I am a little hypervigilant. But no, so, and to discuss safe, because there are times I've told LP, I won't, when I leave the gym, because I leave the gym late at night.
Yeah.
If I don't feel comfortable, I will take a different route home. Like, and I should not have to do that, but in my head, because I've told them, so I've had people who have seen me on Instagram, and because they know what gym I go to, will come to the gym. And that was a woman, but I'm just like, but there are men who can do this too. Like, like people can find you so easily. And I get the messages that are borderline obsessive. So I'm just like, well, what if people learn my routine? Like, and so, yes,
So for you, it's a safety, even when you meet a man also. Like, you got to think maybe out the gate what his intentions are, all of that in the jump.
So intentions are number one, period.
Okay.
So and when I talk to women about it, men too, I tell them, for me, dating, I always equate it to kind of like the process of buying a house, right? When you want to, when you're shopping for a house, you're out looking for houses and you find the one you like, and the first thing you do is you make an inquiry, right? That inquiry in our dating world could be the DM, right? It could be the, comment or whatever way that they can get in contact with you, right? They make an inquiry. At some point, they're going to make an offer. It's my job to decide whether or not this offer is sufficient. And before the offer comes, see, look, I'm getting this.
I already knew what she was about to do.
Comes the earnest money, and this is where I can tell what a man's true intentions are. Is your level of investment. Because there are people who are just window shopping, right? Especially for people, there's a lot of men who they have this weird perception that I'm not who I am. And they're trying to figure out, are you really who you are online? And so they'll come and they'll start asking me all these questions. And I'm like, are you trying to get to know me? Or are you just like an interview right now? Like they're trying to see, is she really who she says she is? And so I always look for, what is your level of investment? Because your level of investment will let me know what are your true intentions here. If there's no investment, he's just window shopping, trying to see how far he can get. And it's up to me to decide if that's something I want to entertain. Always look for level of investment, number one. And investment is not money. I tell guys that investment is not money, right? But it's truly sitting down and investing attention. I don't know why I'm echoing. Y'all hear me?
He changed it. You're good.
Investing in attention. You could be investing time. But if anything, it's always mental and emotional investments that I'm looking for.
I got a question for you, Brittany. With all this information that you have,
oh yes, it's difficult.
Do you suffer from headaches? Because no, I'm serious. Because it's like, let's just say somebody is trying to approach you or is trying to talk to you, and you have all of this information, and I know you're a therapist. You're dissecting this man like crazy, right? But this could be a really good man. He probably just be nervous to talk to you, and the questions that he asking may not be registering to you like he's trying to, like he's trying to deliver them. And it's just like, how are you able to dissect that? Is it just grace? Is it
nervous or something?
Yeah, he might be nervous. Like,
I mean, I think I'm gonna let she'll answer it, of course, but I think men who are indecisive can breed, like, it leads off as like dangerous. Like if someone is like kind of, you don't know what their intentions are, they kind of move where you're not sure why they're approaching you or how they're approaching you, that would give me a danger signal.
But
like, what is this person?
What if it's just
should have did?
A lot of men aren't aggressive men one day. They're not assertive. And when you're dealing with a beautiful woman and a woman that got her stuff together, you can be a little bit nervous. So you ain't just, it ain't just that you weird. It's more so like, I'm kind of tiptoeing.
That's why when women say, man, he corny, he said some corny shit. I'm like, bro, he's trying to think of something that'll get your attention.
Yeah, that's it.
Like, don't generalize that. Yeah. Like, that's why at our event at Eden, I had some of my clients come out. They was, we was chopping it up, kicking it, and they was like, man, it's like, at that time y'all had left, but it was like some dudes in there. It was like, man, this dude he been looking. And he ain't came over here. I'm like, man, but he nervous. You're a beautiful woman. Like, why don't you meet him halfway? Just this once.
So what you think?
And they just sitting up here telling me all these scenarios. I'm like, man, he sees a beautiful woman. Yeah. He may not know.
She could be intimidating.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, I give everybody benefit of the doubt, right? Okay. That's something I've learned how to do when you're trying to be less guarded, especially in the dating world. I have to assume goodness of everyone. That's period. So even when he comes off a little weird or, unless he just says something just blatantly disrespectful,
right, of course,
I never jump to malice, right? I always jump to maybe he's nervous. I know that I can make people nervous, especially my conversation I know is different for a lot of men when we go on dates because I value deeper conversations. So, and it's nothing for me to ask a question that I think is normal. And he's like,
shit is intense.
Did you really just ask me that?
Yeah, shit get intense. I'm like,
to me, it's just normal, right? So I know that. So I always give people benefit of the doubt.
Yeah. And niggas can be deeper than their dialect or their the way they talk.
Yeah, for sure.
I got cousins and uncles that have deep, and I understand everything that they're feeling.
Yeah,
but they just talk differently. You know what I'm saying? So,
but she's on a date though.
Huh? So, no, I'm just saying. I'm just saying you can look past. You're the woman that can look past.
Yes.
Just like she said, she comes off. She's a therapist.
Yeah.
But,
and I'm always looking for signs of like nervousness, right? Because I can be nervous on dates as well, and I can be super awkward. The more I like somebody, I'm super awkward, right? So I know that, and I allow people the grace to be human, and if it's a date, I'm looking for chemistry, I'm looking for connection. That's going to determine whether or not there's a second date, number one, if I enjoyed your presence enough. But to giving people,
grace.
What I tell women sometimes is because, like, LP doesn't believe me when I say if I'm like at a gathering or an event, men don't just up and approach me. Like they just
so weird to me.
He doesn't believe it. I said, like, it doesn't happen. Like he just thinks men just come out of nowhere. They don't.
Yeah.
But I have learned that, like you said, they are nervous and there is a lot of pressure to, what is the best thing I can say to this person, especially if she's with a group of girls.
I never understood the pressure thing because all they can say is no.
Nah, bro.
I was definitely that guy.
What did that
in
matter?
my friend group, I'm about to go
They
holler
can
at
only
them,
say
whatever.
no.
Nah, see, a lot of dudes don't deal good with no's though, right? We just talked about
Yeah, I
that.
guess.
We've been
That's
getting
true.
said told no. Well,
All our lives.
we got to break
But
that
we went to
down.
OU.
Attractive people.
You went to OU, and a famous agent there turned me down, but she did it politely. I always talk about it. I was like, man, I was the most polite
No.
I ever got. And she said I was handsome, so I was like, I'll take it. Now when I see her Snapchat now, I'm like, shit, at least she thought I was handsome.
Nah, for
I'm
sure.
good.
But some women
Shit.
aren't as nice, right?
No.
Kay?
That's true. I get your ugly ass.
They can embarrass you, bro.
First grade, I was getting turned down. Like, you know what I'm saying?
And see, but I don't think the embarrassing, because there are women who try to put you on Front Street.
For sure.
Like, and I think that's, as a man, you got to take that KC thought process. Like, I'm letting this slide and go because it ain't worth it at that point.
But I think, okay, so first of all, human beings, we don't like
and
rejection.
we do
period.
know that because you got that
Yeah.
4:00. So we will wrap here in a second. But go ahead.
We don't like rejection, period, number one. As human beings.
Yeah, for
Man or
sure.
woman.
And what do
right?
I say all the time? That I tell Brittany something all the time. To be honest, what do I say?
What you say? What did you say?
You need to be told no.
That it's good for me to be told no.
I think that's healthy for women.
It is healthy.
Because men
It is
know
healthy.
we
It
are
just
used
doesn't
to it.
happen a lot.
I know, but I be like, yo, people need to be telling you no.
I remember telling like now it's fun for me now because like and we had this conversation like when somebody make a pass at you ain't in it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy the response.
Women act crazier than men.
When you tell them no,
If you tell a woman no, they call you
when you
gay.
show them this, all that.
You'll get called gay. You'll what's wrong with him? Like if you tell a woman
she
no,
don't let
there's
you
a
hang out,
problem.
like,
Hey, speaking
The
of
fuck?
gay, happy Pride Month to my gay brothers and sisters in America. Or around the world.
Yeah, it's around the world.
Right.
Yeah.
all over the world.
I mean, that was an interesting punch in right there, but we received that.
Because they be punching all month.
That's
Happy
stupid.
Pride Month. Straight up.
So yeah, I think we don't like rejection, right?
Yeah.
I think how somebody rejects you tells a lot about who they are, right?
Yep.
The issue is many times we take rejection personally, right?
Of course.
So you don't like me? What you mean? I'm look cute today. Like what? For me, it's you don't mean that.
But they
Really?
do.
Really me?
They do mean it. No, that's what women do.
You know what?
But what I'm saying is, and this comes from me just being ridiculously in love with myself. Like really?
But of course.
Have you ever been friend zoned?
Yes.
And how did you take that?
I took it well.
Okay.
No,
y'all
you
was
did
friends.
not.
So what I will do is if I really like this person and you truly want to be my friend, then I'm going to take a period of separation because it takes time for women to
Calm down.
well, it's because once we've determined we've liked someone, we've now started to insert them in situations mentally that they probably don't want to
And see, men don't do that.
I've been
You know-
rejected.
You do that?
I've done that before.
on.
Yeah, where I had a girl where I was
They
like
do.
really liking, they were friends on me, and then I
They
was
do.
just like, well, shit. In my mind, like I'm gonna pursue you to this point. We're gonna get to this point. It was all that. Like
So you've already mapped out what you think could happen.
hell yeah, and I was like, man, I'm gonna make this. Like I'm thinking about dates and shit
I'm
like
gonna wait.
that.
She's gonna have a bad day one day, and then she's gonna swoop
I
in.
had
They
a,
do
I
it
had
too.
a, I had a, what's that damn thing?
That's why we say
Rolodex.
women
I had a
can't have men
Rolodex
friends.
of events planned in my mind.
Wow.
Prepared. Like I'm strategic.
That's
Yeah.
why as a guy, you see her guy friend like, hold on, he ain't gay. Oh, hold on, why he around?
Yes, and that's why you don't believe that there's a true friendship.
My wife has male friends, and I figured they really just friends.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you know, if it was, and I asked her straight, I'm like, man, what is it? Like, you know, if y'all had some past or whatever. No, it's really, okay, cool, fine.
Yeah, men and women can be friends. We've established that.
Yeah.
Like, I that's always been a weird thing on those podcasts, and we might have to do a part 2 at some point. We might have to. But those podcasts also act like men and women can't be friends.
Yeah.
They definitely act like that.
My best friend was in my wedding.
Straight up. Straight up.
It all goes back to when you talk about men and women having value. I really feel like most of the breakdowns in relationships with people is just character, right? People don't know who they are. They don't know what they bring when they walk into the room. They don't know how to set boundaries. So like for me to say, if you don't want me and I want you, I'm taking a period of separation because I don't want to put either one of us in a situation where it's like me hanging on to something or you feel like you have to meet a certain expectation. Like I'm like, no, I'm not. And I've done that to people who are in my friend zone. And I could be the person that's like, oh, well, they're going to do anything I ask them to do because they like me, right? Or I'm going to say, hey, I'm not going to give you certain access because I know that you're not doing this out of friendship. You're doing this because you're hoping that there's going to be more than what I've already told you.
Moment.
So what
Exactly.
emojis should people put in your DMs
None.
to entertain you? Tell them now, what emoji should they put in your DMs?
That meme of that nigga like this.
What does that mean?
What do you
I
like?
don't know.
What do you like? You like going out? You like movies? What?
She like medieval
Games.
shit. Matter of fact,
She does like medieval shit.
They
She
should
really
send a
does not-
sword.
Bro,
They should send a sword.
Casey,
We gotta get.
you don't know how right you are.
He
bro.
did all
She
this
like-
talking. They go, man, I ain't got no. She gonna talk to me. She gonna talk to me about my mental health.
She's definitely gonna
But
do that.
like what? Like your down to earth self. Like you
That
like the
is her
medieval.
down-to-earth
I'm just saying
self.
you like the medieval stuff. You like going. You like bowling. What do you like doing?
I do like activities. So bowling. I haven't done skating in a long time.
What type of sense of
Outdoor
humor you got?
activities. I have a dark sense of humor.
See, that's good.
Extremely
Niggas like that.
Like when you
Extremely
say dark,
dark.
I got
like
a dark
what?
sense of humor.
Yeah.
I'm very sarcastic. I'm very
like
because
make
I-
hurt you sense of humor.
Damn.
Most
Yeah.
guys got a dark
Yeah, like,
sense of humor.
hurt you.
I've never hurt your
I didn't say
feelings.
me, but I have.
If you fuck with Dave Chappelle or like Corey Holcomb,
I love comedy. So anything that makes me laugh, I love that.
What emoji do people need to put? Give them
Just
something
put
action.
the sword and the shield.
Medieval.
Well,
Yes.
see, and
Yeah.
this,
And a dragon. They got a dragon
Dragon.
too.
and
Yeah.
this is where, right? I'm gonna say I don't want an emoji. That if you have a serious offer, then
Oh my gosh, let
make
business.
the offer.
Let them have some fun first too.
Okay, all right. Let's
Can
see
they
how-
start with the
let's see-
emoji, then the
and
offer?
See, this is where I challenge. There's so much fun in the streets right now.
nah,
If you want the fun, it's out here.
ain't no serious offer. They gotta come at you. They see that's the problem.
No,
they think
no.
you too serious.
No, this is the thing, right? And coming from, because again, y'all say ain't no good woman out here.
I know, yeah.
But
yeah.
when I'm telling you,
I ain't
because
say that.
we have to decipher through so much trash.
No doubt.
If you are coming with a serious intention, then come with the serious intention so that you stand out above what I already got to cipher through.
Gotcha.
But if you blending in with everybody else,
That makes sense.
you're gonna get the results everybody else getting, and I'm just gonna ignore the emoji and keep moving.
But you know, if you get the emoji, it came from us. Like, you know, it's a quality offer.
they
So
watched it.
They watched it and they waited to the end.
Yeah.
They got to the end and,
And if they got to the end, it was
and
like,
they-
she don't want no damn emoji, and they come.
Boom,
that
they
is
were
true. That is true.
listening.
That is
Hey,
true.
we
They
got
were
some
listening.
weirdos at
They were listening.
Hey, yo, we
Thank you, thank you.
They
It's
were
like,
listening.
okay, clearly she does not want an emoji.
Nigga go.
Well, look.
I'm not even gonna.
Please share your handle information, all that. Again, we're gonna wrap this. We'll probably do a part 2 at some point as well. But please share.
Hey, if you guys find me worthy to come back, I would love to come back. I have
you're more
enjoyed
than
you
worthy.
guys. I hope I was able to add value some way.
Don't listen to her.
Um,
Tell them how to find the Daily Fix, all that good stuff.
so BrittainnyNoel.com is where you can find all things related to myself.
You got to spell Brittany probably because it's probably think is
That is
different.
very true. My name is spelled Brittainy. Noel like Christmas, Noel. So BrittainnyNoel.com. The Daily Fix, you can sign up and join us every morning, Monday through Friday at 8:30 a.m. If you can't join at that time, we always have our replays available so that you can watch them later. But we are intentionally growing in the Daily Fix every day.
And men, we are
Yes.
we are hosting a Men's Week. 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So we encourage you, join. This is your opportunity to see what's happening in the group. I think it'll be really valuable. Even just this conversation lets me know that those weeks will be valuable with the men in the group also. So opportunity to come in, just see what's going on. I would encourage y'all to check that out.
And we're having real conversations because a lot of stuff that we talked about today are going to be expanded upon in the Daily Fix. So definitely going to be adding value and, preparing your mind and your heart to do what you want to do.
Put those emojis, put as many emojis as possible into her DMs. If you made it this far.
Why does he do this?
You know what? Let's do this again, like towards the end of the month, to finish out mental.
Oh, okay. The men's month, men's health month.
Yeah, I have more problems for you to solve by that time, I'm sure.
You're not supposed to go when you got problems.
You're not?
You're supposed to go when it's good.
Well, he went right now when it's good. So now you got to come back with the report.
Better yet, he's going to take what he learned today, go
get back to your push-ups,
and then he's going to...
That is episode 246 or 7. I can't remember exactly which one. On a horse field. We out.
I don't want to kill